Hey guys, Nubkeks here and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. In today's video, we're going to be playing some Samuro in Hero League. So if you caught my tier list yesterday, you will have seen that I do have him rated overall as one of the absolute weakest heroes in Hero League at the moment, particularly at high level play, because he is so easily countered and so easily played around. But as I also said in that tier list video, I don't think any of the heroes in the game at the moment are unplayable in Hero League by any means. I actually think they're all legitimate picks given the right circumstances. It just requires the right sort of draft to fit them in. This is true also, as you can see, we're going to first pick him in this one. So this is not how you want to pick Samuro, but this was during my YOLO phase where I was just frustrated with Hero League. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to play the heroes I want to play and just screw playing well. So I'm just going to first pick stuff. Not, again, a recommended strategy. Not a recommended strategy. Pretty much bad on all fronts. But we're going to first pick Samuro. Now, good news is our team captain is on point and bans away Sonya. This is the biggest problem with Samuro right now, is that a lot of the best heroes in the game are really, really good against him. Really, really good against him. Sonya is fantastic against him, right? Because Sonya with her Whirlwind, well, Whirlwind against Samuro, and his clones, well, she's doing, damage to all of the clones at the same time. Each of the clones is giving her some healing, and she just pressures him away so easily. Arthas, also really good against Samuro. Again, Arthas has got that AoE slowing aura, which also slows attack speeds. Uh-oh, poor Samuro can't do too much against that. Malf and Karazim, pretty good against him as well in terms of supports. Karazim's got the Earth Ally, which gives you the physical armor nearby, which just halves all of Samuro's damage for that duration. He can also give his teammates move speed with his dashes and can just dash away from Samuro himself. Malf has got the scouting drones, so can spot Samuro in stealth. He also has AoE roots and the giant AoE silence plus damage, which can just kill Samuro, kind of like that. He's pretty damn good against him on that front. There's a lot of counters to him. There's a lot of counters. I think Kelthus is one of the most interesting ones. Kelthus has got a terrible win rate against Samuro, but I think if it's played right, he could be really good against him. He ought to be really good against him. But he doesn't seem to be doing too well at the moment, so do just bear that in mind. Yeah, I don't know, there's just a lot of ways to pick against the guy. There's a lot of ways. Because of the clones, he's very vulnerable to a lot of AoE. He's vulnerable to a lot of AoE. So the enemy team, lucky for us, has neglected to pick any of that stuff, which is fantastic. They went for the Lost Vikings and Gul'dan. Not a very good response to a first pick Samuro, so we are more than happy with that. We're going to be able to... What is Samuro's strengths? Samuro's strengths are... He's really good at pushing lanes. And he's really good at doing map objectives and merc camps. There is real strengths, okay? And he can kind of flank and do a bit of that sort of stuff during the team fight, but he's just simply not as good at that as someone like a Zeratul would be. So if you look at the enemy team, what they went for the Lost Vikings. They're going for a Lost Vikings composition on Sky Temple, so this is fantastic. We should be able to use Samuro's stealth to actually gank the Vikings quite a bit, pressure them off lanes. It's also going to help our team fight. There's going to be a lot less pressure on us in the team fight as Samuro. We're going to be able to get in there much more easily. It's one of the problems with the hero is that it's very difficult for him oftentimes to go into a team fight and pressure that off. By the way, our team captain banning out Arthas. So this is fantastic. They should have picked, the enemy team should have picked Arthas straight up in that first rotation as soon as they see the Samuro. They take the Oriel as well, which will synergize nicely with Gul'dan. We get a Stitches and a Nazebo, and the enemy team has one pick left to go. So I actually like what our team has got. We've got, Falstad, who also has got pretty good map pressure, going to be able to synergize with us, and he's going to be good at picking off the Vikings as well. We've got the Malf, which is not going to, the enemy team can't pick that up to counter pick us. Would have been great with the Gul'dan for them as well, so that's nice. We've got Nazebo, synergizes nicely with Malf. Nazebo also provides tons of damage. And tons of consistent damage, so that's going to work really well with the Falstad and the Samuro. Falstad's got good burst damage, but his overall damage is pretty low. And then Samuro is so inconsistent. Nazebo will provide us that consistent damage that we need. The Stitches pick is interesting. Synergizes with the Malf though. And yeah, things are looking pretty good actually from this draft. And Sky Temple is a pretty good map for Samuro as well. Lots of objectives and mercs and split pushing for us to do while people are busy with shrines. So I'll tell you what, guys, I will join you all in the game and we'll see how this one goes. Hey guys, and here we are in the game. Right at the start of this, I want to talk about what we're going to be aiming to do as Samuro as we go into this game, because we're going to interact with the enemy team comp in a very particular way, which is quite important to understand right at the start of the game. And I'll talk about talents and stuff after that as well. Oh, also, actually, I was thinking about this when I saw the draft loading screen, and Stitches is really good against Samuro as well, right? Every time Samuro just keeps triggering that AoE fart that Stitches does and takes all that AoE damage, and you know, the bile of Stitches can get at 10 will wreck him too. The slam build will wreck him. Stitches is pretty good against Samuro. But right, so looking at the enemy team, at the start of the game, our big focus is going to be pushing lanes, ganking Vikings, taking merc camps, and then taking objectives, freeing up our team to work as a 4-man, and just removing a lot of the map pressure that the Vikings are going to try to create. That's a beautiful zombie wall by Nazeebo. Gets Thrall caught inside. We're going to focus him down with some basic attacks, and we secure the first kill there. We're going to keep being aggressive, juking around a little bit, going into stealth. We spot the Gul'dan is pretty low. Another beautiful zombie wall does secure the kill. Excellent play from Nazeebo. Good route from Malf as well to help secure that as well. And that's 2 kills for us to start this off in a very nice way. But if you look at the enemy team comp, specifically the 4-man, right? They've got a Varian, Oriel, Gul'dan, and a Thrall. In team fights, we are going to be flanking. We're going to be flanking. It's very important. I think this is a big decision you got to make with Samuro. Are you going to be focusing on the front line with your team? Or are you going to be flanking around and trying to gank and disrupt the back line? Very important that we flank in this game. There's no point in us attacking Varian, who's just going to pop parry. And when you look at the Gul'dan Oriel in particular, they're both these, you know, conal sort of attacking heroes, right? Gul'dan throwing those fell flames, the Qs, basically in a wide sort of line in front of him. Same with Corruption. Oriel as well with her Qs, this sort of big frontal attack. If we're fighting a Varian at the front, we're not going to be able to kill him because he's going to keep popping parries. And then we're just going to be getting Gul'dan and Oriel standing behind him, flinging all of those spells through us, through our team, and getting massive value. However, flanks are going to work really well for us in the team fights. Let's say we flank Gul'dan, we start hitting him from behind. How do they deal with that? If we say Varian is up front tanking the rest of our team. Well, for Gul'dan to actually damage us, if we're standing behind him, he has to start throwing his spells behind. And he's going to have a horrible time, because then he's not going to be able to hit our team. It's going to deny a lot of the value. That's sort of the rough theory right there. So I think that should actually work quite nicely. We'll see if it pans out in practice, though. That's the question, of course. That's the theory, but how does it work in practice? The Thrall could make things a little bit difficult because of Earthquake. Can be a big pain in our butt. We'll see how that one goes. And we have quite a big fight erupting here over this top temple. Nazeebo, in the meantime, is just soaking 2 lanes, which is great, keeping us somewhat even, at least as much as we can be in terms of XP. And just keeping his stacking going, making sure he's going to hit that level 20 power spike, that late game Nazeebo power spike when he's got all of those stacks to fuel his Vile Infection quest at level 20. Stitch is going to help the Falstad, who might have been in trouble. And yeah, we're having a little bit of a tough time here in the early game, but hopefully that Nazeebo late game is going to work out well for us. I mean, the Lost Vikings have got a good late game too, so we'll have to bear that in mind. Level 1, let's talk about that. This is an interesting talent here, I think. I've switched from using Way of the Blade, which was making your critical strikes hit every 3rd basic attack and do 20% additional damage, to Way of Illusion, which is a quest at level 1. You can see your progress down in the bottom left. This is a quest where every time one of our images critically strikes a hero, we permanently gain half a point of attack damage. Varian going to try invade here and interrupt. He's even standing on the point. We're going to try not attack him while he's got his parry active, because that will obviously give him resets and all that stuff with the Varian parry build. Unfortunately, we cannot control our images without Illusion Master, so our images will keep hitting him and giving him those resets and those procs and everything like that. But again, just really nice work by the Nazebo. And we secured that kill. Varian going in alone, actually, without the backup of his team. Definitely a bad choice, feeling overconfident, and he pays a hefty price. Also with this level 1 wave illusion, once you've hit 40 heroes with your critical strikes, you get an additional 20 attack damage. So in total, it's 40 additional attack damage. Your illusions inherit some of that. Beautiful hook from Stitches. Enemy team overextended with Varian still dead. And they go down. In the meantime, Nazebo pushing with the Siege Giant. So this is a really good early game for us. At the same time, I mean, look at the XP. We're pretty much even. We're only a little bit ahead. So it is a lead, but not a monumental lead. Before I talk more about that talent, actually, I want to talk about my decision making here. So if you look at the state of the heroes in the game, we just got a couple of kills, right? So the enemy team's map presence is weak, which means they're not going to be contesting that bottom shrine just yet. They need to regroup first. So we actually have a bit of a grace period. I'm actually moving up here to take this bruiser camp instead of starting the objective, specifically because of that map situation. Gonna exploit that window of weakness in the enemy team to let our team be weak, because we're gonna leave them. We're gonna take that bruiser camp and get that pushing. Then we can roam down bottom. We'll also be able to push that in quite a bit and be able to fly down if needs be. And yeah, that should create some really nice pressure for us. You can see we secured the entire bottom temple. Enemy team not able to deal with that, not feeling safe to push in, and Falstad in the meantime getting good push in top lane as well. So this is working out really, really nicely. Wave illusion. So we got the stacking quest, critting with our mirror images on heroes. I figured in particular this ought to work very well against the Vikings. We should be able to stack it up pretty easily against them, because they're going to be, you know, Vikings, very difficult hero to play. We should be able to walk up in stealth, get a bunch of critical hits on them for free, and that should be a bunch of kills for us, which will be fantastic. Great kill there. This might even be a second kill on this Oriel. She's on the run. Stitches wants to play. Oriel does not. Oh, Stitches hooks the wall, but Malf with a big root does save the day. I love the shots in the little corner. Honestly, at that stage, she should just die as quick as possible so she respawns close to her team. I thought that was kind of funny. The big decision for me at level 1 is how easy is it going to be to stack that wave illusion quest against the enemy team. You can see here, for example, we've already got 28 stacks. We're making great progress on this quest just a few minutes into the game. You know, once you finish that quest, it's going to be better than Wave the Blade, which is just the passive buff from straight up at level 1. So you just want to consider, look at the enemy team and go, okay, how easy is it going to be for me to like finish this quest off? Is it going to be easy? In this case, super easy, because I got the Lost Vikings. So we're more than happy to take that and make as much use out of it as we can. At level 4, I went for Mirage. Whenever we activate our mirror images, it gives ourselves and our images 2 stacks of 40 spell armor for the next 2 spells that hit them. You know, it's going to be okay-ish in this game. It's not going to be amazing. You know, if it blocks a Gul'dan Q, that's pretty good. But the corruption from Gul'dan will obviously shred it off pretty quickly. You know, Thrall's lightning will shred it off pretty quick. There's an Earthquake Might. So I don't know about this as the right choice, but generally speaking, it probably will be your go-to. Deflection is another pretty good option, and might have actually been the better option in this case, which is, you know, every time you attack a hero, you get your advancing strikes activation, which is 2 seconds of 25% bonus movement speed whenever you hit a hero. That will give you 25 physical armor as well for that duration. So Falstad overextends there and gets killed. We didn't have the map position with heroes dying. Wanted to play very passive there. Nazebo had been ganked and picked off by the enemy team, so you just want to wait until they're able to wait until we're in a better position. So this is pretty nice. So we get a free kill here on Viking and secure the end of this temple. It's gonna be good for us to kill this big guy as well. He gives, you know, right there, a chunk of 225 XP for killing him. It's not too bad. It adds up over time. You know, they do count for something. Viking on the run. Gonna have to let him go, unfortunately. The enemy team coming around. We might have got a bit greedy looking for this fight. I think we were gonna pop Blade Storm here in the back. Just try to do as much damage as we can. Nazebo is here as well. Gonna pop into stealth, and we are going to run away. Stitches with the stealth hook on the stealth hero. The enemy team was like, what did he just hook? What happened? I'm so confused. So stealthy, stealth. And Nazebo caught in a rough spot, but Falstad's doing great damage. Another brilliant zombie wall by Nazebo does lock the enemy team out. Thrall with his self-healing going. We're all very low. Malf is still dead. The Zeebo's in some trouble. We're going to come up and try to help him escape here. See if he can maybe bait the Varian in. Varian backs off just in time to dodge the Zeebo's skills. The trap is not sprung. And the enemy team's going to get the bottom fort off of that fight. And they are kind of a level up in XP at the moment. So I thought that was interesting, you know? Like, this has been a really good game for Samuro. By the way, we finished our level 1 quest, so that's great. We're going to hit a lot harder. But even so, we're having, you know, a fairly tough game. Level 7, I do get Burning Blade, so this does a burst of flame whenever we critical strike, which does some AoE damage and bonus damage to the target. I think it's pretty nice. It's going to help your wave push a lot. It's going to help taking mercs a lot too, which is just really good. By the way, while taking merc camps, very important that you let your images tank the damage as much as possible. Damage really hurts Samuro because his mirror images spawn. Well, they've got a percentage of your HP. I think it's half of your current health, right? So if you're at full health, your images will spawn with lots of health. If you're at half health, it's not going to work out so well. They're going to be super squishy. So any damage that you take will really add up over time and really hurt you. This is particularly important against mercs, where you can totally maneuver it so that your images tank the mercs as much as possible, so that every time you pop your mirror images, you are making them as strong as you can, and you're not, like, you know, half health running around the map. You don't have any self-healing as Samuro, so any damage that you take will be pretty bad for you. We're actually going to pop our images here to try zone off the enemy team, the left-hand side, as we collapse on that Oriel. She does keep herself alive for a little while. We're all moving in to try save her, and he does get picked off too, so that's 2 nice kills for our team. Beautiful hook from the Stitches. The Oriel just out of position, and Stitches capitalizing nicely over that wall. Enemy team then in a panic to try to save him. Her. Bladestorm at level 10 was my choice here. So it's, you know, 4-second channel, you're unstoppable, you're doing some AoE damage. Honestly, after playing this game, like, this is the first Samuro game I've played in a long time. It seems so shit. Like, this ultimate sucks. It's really bad. I don't get it. It's really bad. I think Illusion Master is way better. So Illusion Master lets you control your images, and they also do 10% bonus damage. Or they deal an additional 10% if you're damaged. So I suppose proportionate to the amount of damage they do, it's actually more than 10%. What do they do by default? Let me check here. They do 25% of your damage. That makes them do an additional 10%. So it's a pretty big deal. It's like 50% almost more damage on the images, like 40% more damage, something like that. That's actually really good. I think Illusion Master is way better. Also, just the micro control on the images is a little bit better, getting them to focus in on a single target. So yeah, after playing this particular game, I was like, okay, Illusion Master is definitely the better choice. One very interesting thing to note about these 2 heroics, though, is that Bladestorm changes Samuro from being one of the simplest heroes in the game. Well, with Bladestorm, he is one of the simplest heroes in the game. With Illusion Master, he can actually in some ways become one of the most complex heroes in the game. You know, there's just like this sort of infinite scaling skill cap on how well you can control the heroes, because you can control each one independently. I mean, there's a limit onto how fast the human brain plus hands plus mouse and keyboard can interact with something. So there's going to be a hard cap. Like, there's just no way you can play 3 heroes as effectively as someone of equal skill can play 1 hero. It's just not possible. As many inputs as you put in to one, yeah, you just can't be as effective. So there's like a practical limit to the skill cap, you might say. But yeah, Illusion Master, I think it's better. Level 13 went for Shikuchi. I think this is the best one by far in this talent here as well. So when you press Windwalk, you do a short range teleport. This just helps you repositioning, and just helps you be surprisingly effective. I'm just going to pick off the Oriel there. I think it's just great for repositioning, for just surprise jukes, for surprise movements around the map, and all that sort of stuff. The Zeebo survives by the skin of his teeth, and we are a level up now. We're starting to snowball this game in our advantage. Level 16 is one of, I think it's his most interesting talent here. I think this is super interesting for Samuro. I think all of these talents are really good. In this game, I did go for Harsh Winds. So whenever we attack a hero with our Windwalk attack, right? So out of Windwalk, our first basic attack, we'll mark them. You'll see these like cross swords above their heads, kind of like pirate swords. And they'll take 30% more damage from Samuro and my images for 3 seconds. That includes Bladestorm as well. So basically, you know, the ideal, I suppose, combo will be to you know, get behind them with the wind walk. We hit them out of wind walk with basic attack, so we mark them to take that 30% bonus damage. We press Q to pop our clones. You know, we use our W, our critical strike, to get a big critical strike with us and all of our clones off on them. Then we pop Blade Storm, and that should do a nice burst of damage. If you don't have Blade Storm with Illusion Master, if you press number 4, I think it is, you will, by default, you will take control of all of your images, and then you right click on that person, so you get all of your images to focus fire on the enemy hero. You can also stack it up so that you are going to crit on your next attack. That can be insanely good. So you, well, what you would do is you would hit them with your wind walk attack, which would prime your critical strike. You pop your images, get them all to focus on that target. They land the critical strike that has been primed. Then you activate critical strike, you crit again, and that should be kind of a lot of burst damage. I think I cancelled Blade Storm there. I think I was spamming it. It's like, why did it stop? I think I cancelled it because you're unstoppable. There's nothing that can stop you except for yourself. I was kind of spamming the button there, and obviously it made me cancel the heroics. That was kind of dumb. Also, Blade Storm's got a crazy long cooldown, which makes no sense to me. Enemy core under siege from Mercamps in the top. They've got 1 keep remaining. The Zebo is down though, who is, you know, our most important hero overall. Level 20, I took Windstrider, which halves the cooldown of Windwalk. Gonna be great with the 2 Windwalk talents we've got. And it really opens up a lot of Samuro playstyles to, you know, just, you can teleport in aggressively with Windwalk, then use mirror images to survive for a little bit, then you can just Windwalk back out again. Lets you be a lot more aggressive. We really shouldn't be picking a fight here with Nzebo dead. It's a very, very bad idea. The other talents though at level 16, like I said, they're all really good, right? So Merciless Strikes, this is basic attacks against slowed, rooted, or stunned targets are always critical strikes. So that opens up an awesome combo with Arthas. I think there's definitely a very strong place for Samuro in the game. If let's say your team early picks an Arthas, you grab Samuro, well hey, every attack against a hero that Arthas is affecting with his crowd control is gonna be a crit. That's just so much damage, that's nuts. That's nuts. Press the Attack is also another great talent here at level 16, which is while your Advancing Strikes is active, that's your trait for 2 seconds when you hit a hero, your basic attacks stack up 15% attack speed up to 60% per hit. I think I'm making a big mistake here. Okay, yeah, so right here I'm kind of getting a little bit greedy looking at that variant who's low. Earthquake will reveal us out of stealth, so that's something we be careful of. I actually walk into the side of it. That was my mistake right there. Get way too greedy going in. I mean, yes, our team kills Thrall, that's great, but I should not have gone in right there. We move in, we don't have Windwalk available, we don't have mirror images available, and we just get killed straight away. It is so important when you're playing Samuro to be aware of your cooldowns in order to survive. Like I said, when you take damage, it makes you so much weaker. It makes you so much weaker. You need to be attacking in a way that you need to judge your time to attack so carefully, right? You need to judge it so carefully so that you're not going to get hit, you're not going to take damage, you're going to be disruptive to the enemy team. You know, you can walk in with Windwalk, then you need your mirror images and a way to walk out to survive. Alternatively, you can kind of like flank in, pop your images and then Windwalk out. And that's why this Windstrider talent level 20, having the cooldown Windwalk is such a big deal because it lets you be so much more aggressive. That was insane damage from the cooldown right there. Malf gonna ice block to save himself. I thought Malf played a really good game. I thought our whole team played a good game. You know, some mistakes, like this is obviously a mistake with Stitches going down. And we're just fighting outnumbered, basically. I was dead. That's kind of been our fall in this game, in the late game. Has been, we've fought a few fights that were just kind of derpy, kind of stupid. Anyway, we do have great map control, so I'm going to be able to come up here and do this. False is actually going to fly up as well, and that's okay. The enemy team en route, we're going to have to come down here where Nzebo is fighting Thrall. See if we can keep Nzebo alive. It's actually pretty important. Thrall not expecting that. We're going to come in, get a pretty good gank on him. We're going to pop our Windwalk, or Blade Storm, sorry. You're not going to be able to kill the Thrall. Pop into our Windwalk form. Again, pop our mirror images and then start focusing the Thrall down with that vulnerability window. Varian on the run. We're able to finish him off with a crit. That is a couple of kills for us, and this is really good. We're just going to lurk here, waiting for Gul'dan. Waiting for Gul'dan. Hello, Gul'dan. There you are, Gul'dan. Let's try to burn him down as much as we can. You can see like the chase potential now with our Windwalks and Chikuchi at level, like late game Samuro. His fighting gets way better because every 6 seconds you can do a teleport. And you can just, it makes your chase potential crazy, right? It makes it crazy. Like Gul'dan can basically not get away from us. There's no way for him to stop us right there. Would have been even worse for him if we had Illusion Master. We didn't. But yeah, we're able to kill him fairly easily. One thing to note, we didn't see much of it in this game because we're just like pushing Vikings and stuff like that. But Samuro can be very effective at pushing lanes. Now, if you build up a big minion wave, like you do so much damage with your mirror images. Obviously, you need a wave there because the towers will one-shot the mirror images because it'd be OP otherwise. So yeah, I mean, but whatever you can play around a big minion wave, a big split push, that's definitely something that's worth considering with Samuro because your team fighting's not going to be as good, like I said, as it would be if you had something like a Zeratul. So you can exploit that and actually get lots of value, like split pushing forts and stuff. Getting XP advantage, draw the enemy team away that way can be pretty nice. And you can use Illusion Master too to teleport across the map with your images and farm 2 lanes at once and stuff like that, which can be pretty cool. There you guys go though. That was a Samuro game. I hope you enjoyed. It actually went pretty well for us. First pick Samuro, didn't get punished for it, which is nice. He's a decent hero. So yeah, I think there's some good things to be said for him. Some good things to be said. Should be a talent build up on the left-hand side of the screen, everyone. Like I said, this is the talent build I went for in this game. I do think Illusion Master is better though at level 10. Level 1, just consider, is it going to be easier for you to finish that quest? If it is, the quest is definitely the way to go. Level 16, I actually think there's very interesting things that could be done with that talent here. Very, very interesting things. I think all those talents are good, and I'm interested to consider and look at more Samuro games in future using some of these different talents. So yeah, I'm going to be playing more Samuro going forwards. Difficult hero to fit into a draft, but if you're able to do it, not get countered, you're going to be doing well. Also, at the very end, worth noting, he's quite weak at high level play, but Samuro is currently one of the highest win rate heroes at lower level play. I think this ties into a couple of things. I think number 1, the sort of split pushing is more effective. Number 2, I think people aren't going to be as able to counter it. You know, high level play, the enemy team can play Arthas and Sonya. It's that they just will. Whereas that might not be the case in lower level games. People might not know how to counter him as well. They might simply not know the heroes. So yeah, he is working very effectively in the lower leagues at the moment. So he can be a very good hero to bust out. And I hope you have some fun. And yeah, taste of my blade. I'll see you all next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.